everyone, and welcome to the Transformation Triumph Summit. My name is Jamie Allen Bishop, one of your hosts for this event. I am so honored and excited to introduce these authors with their special wisdom and insights to share. I imagine that you're here because one of the topics appealed to you, or perhaps you're on a transformation journey of your own. I welcome you to enjoy, listen, observe, and take away some of the insights that these authors are sharing so that you can streamline your transformation triumphs. And now, here's more about each of our authors.
Okay. Hi, my name is Jamie Allen Bishop. I'm here with Cheryl Clark and Diana Cockle. We are going to interview Diana for the Transformation Triumphs book. The Transformation Triumphs book is inspiring stories of personal and professional resilience, and they're written just for you, the audience. There are perspectives from each of the authors who have written one chapter apiece to tell their story, to suggest to you some of the ways that triumphs and transformation might show up in your world, and we hope they inspire you. So we are interviewing each of these amazing authors, and Diana Cockle is one of them. Welcome, Diana.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Happy to be here.
Awesome, awesome. So I'm going to read Diana's bio just really quickly, and we'll get started with some questions. Okay. So Diana lives in the city of Maricopa, Arizona, with her husband, Peter, and two dogs, Scooter and Stallion.
Stallone.
Sorry, Stallone, not Stallion, although he might be a stallion. You never I love that name though. Awesome. Diana has had the opportunity to live in different places and meet many wonderful people over the years. Diana currently works with her husband in their logistics business, where they ship LTL shipments all over the world. What does LTL stand for?
It stands for line haul truckload. So it's the big rigs, the big semis that you see. So the big shipments that you would see at like your Costco's and what on the big pallets, we move big things like that. So not small package like most people think. Yeah.
Oh yes, that is coordination in and of itself. So yeah. Kudos on that. Diana also recently launched a floral business and then went to earn her Master Floral certification degree, really, from the state of Arizona. Yay! So she launched that and got educated to basically support this idea of this beautiful business that she wanted to create, and you should see some of her arrangements are amazing. So come check out her story, find out more about Diana on her Facebook page, Maricopa Royal Blooms. And yeah, so hi, so glad you're here, Diana. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to chat with us.
Absolutely.
Awesome. So first and foremost, let us know a little bit about your personal journey. I know that a little bit of it is in the bio, but I'm sure there's more to tell. So let's start with
There's lots more. And it's interesting to look at, since we've written our information and sent it over, to where it's been a few months to now. And you look back on that journey, there's so many other different little things that pop up. But I can remember my career starting out at the age of 15 as a car hop at A&W. That was one of my first really paying jobs. The first one was caring for a lady that lived next door to us. I did that when I was like about 13, 14. So my actual real job was A&W at car hop. So the little changer thing, that's where I learned to count change, was, doing the money thing. So that was always fun. But I look at my resume now and all the jobs that I've had, all the places that I've lived, all the people that I've seen and met. There's so many of those people that are still in my life. And that includes people that I went to school with that I've known for like 50 some years now. And to me, it's just remarkable to look back on that, how a lot of these people are so true and they love you and they want to be a part of your world. And since we've gone through and we've launched so many different things, I've launched my website, I have had more people reach out to me that I've known for years and years. It's like, what are you doing that's different, that's making you grow? Obviously, the group is a big piece of it. Tony Robbins is an awesome, huge piece of it. And I think for me, and looking at all this transition coming from Wyoming, is if I'd stayed back there, would I have grown this much? I don't think so, because I would have been stagnant, not around the people that I am. So I think moving and meeting different people has embraced that growth in me and that challenge. And I love change. Most people are frantic on it. And for me, it's like, no, bring it, because there's something new that I can learn from it.
You know what I think I love the most? First of all, I know that you've invested in your success. And I say that very clearly because I know that you invested in Tony Robbins, and you had a couple of other platforms that you were investing in as well at the onset of all of us becoming friends. And I also love that you've also alluded to the fact, in my world, in my opinion, of yourself as a magnet. People are attracted, they're stuck, and you carry them with you,
Right.
which is huge that way. I think is huge. You brought up change as being part of, or alluding to change being part of transformation. How did you recognize transformation in yourself, and how would you tell other people to recognize it as they're moving through transformation?
Yeah, it's an interesting question, because I think when you're going through things, you don't realize that you are. It's just kind of living each day. It's like, okay, is this opportunity going to serve me? I don't think we look at it that way. I look at things in my life, especially with LTL, because it's very stressful. So if you look at, we had the hurricanes in Los Angeles, we've got hurricanes right now going on the East Coast. All those little things that come up, those are problems that we run into our businesses, how we handle and challenge them. I think a lot of times we don't realize it's a triumph until we're past it. And I think that's where you've got to really embrace. Are you open-minded? How are you going to react to it? Are you going to be stressed? Are you going to freak out? And I think that's the thing with, like, Tony Robbins has taught me, I handle things so much differently now than I did a year ago. And that's the really interesting thing to look at, is where you're at right now versus where you were a year ago. Are you growing? Are you about the same? And I look at life now differently after going through Tony Robbins and many different trainings. If I'm not growing, I'm dying. And so for me, it's like, okay, you take each day as an opportunity of what's going to reflect and be new for me today. It may be just one minor little thing, and you may not recognize it until the end of your day. But each and every single day, there is an opportunity for growth.
I love that. And we literally just said that this morning in a talk that we were having related to the book that we're reading for book club, Speed of Trust by Stephen M. R. Covey. So I love that all these gurus have very similar ideas, and taking action is part of that. So with that being a kind of perfect segue, what made you say yes to the Transformation Triumphs experience?
So for me, it's been the last couple of years. If an opportunity comes up that it looks like it's going to be growth for me, I jump on it. But also instilling fear in that, because if you're feeling fear, you're growing. That's a big piece of it as well too. If you're scared, you're growing. You're doing something that makes you uncomfortable, and when you're uncomfortable, you're growing. So that's what I look at as well too. It's like, okay, this is another new opportunity for me to go through and dabble with another part of something that I never thought I would have ever done in my life. To be part of this group, to be part of the book is wonderful, and I'm learning a lot throughout the process.
Yes, I love that. Yay.
No, that's totally awesome. Are there any misconceptions that you could label that you think people have when it comes to transformation and or when it comes to triumphs?
I think a lot of it comes down to people not knowing and being fearful of wanting to know, or thinking they're going to go down a rabbit hole that they can't get out of. But for me, when I think of things like that, it's people that are, and I don't want to say it in a negative way, but people that are insecure about what they're doing. And maybe it's something they never dabbled with. It could be something in their history also too, that it could be a childhood thing that someone brought up that, no, you can't go through and do this. It kind of reminds me of, like, tarot reading. I went through and did a course on tarot cards. And so many people I told about that were like, ooh, the whole voodoo thing, you can't be going through and doing that. That's how I was brought up, that tarot was. And over the years, I became curious with it. with my crystals. And so it's like, let me dabble into this a little bit more, what it's all about, and finding it and then taking a course on it is nothing what I was told as a child. So you look at those different things and those negativities, and some people may look at things differently. But it's all how you look at, are you looking at the glass half full or half empty? I don't look at one either way. I look at the situation of whatever it is that's in front of me. Okay, I can get good and bad out of everything, but I'm going to pull that good more out of it every single time.
That's awesome.
Yay, fantastic. So with that, and I think that a lot of people have had that very similar experience where they've been instilled with beliefs that may or may not serve the higher consciousness of society at large. So with that, do you think that we come here with a purpose or a mission or some sort of something that takes us where we're going?
I think we all have a destiny to go to, but what I've been hearing lately that's been chippering in the back for me, and it's anything from being out in public or anything on social media or different things even coming in my email from various different people. Something to really think about is when you're at the end of your lifetime and you're up with whoever you believe in as your creator, and if you're shown a video of what you could have done versus what you've done, would you be proud and happy with how you proceeded? And for me, I look at that with all these changes and these challenges now, I don't want to miss out. I want to go through, if that opportunity is there, I want to take it full fold and do it. I think many people don't look at life that way. It's like they just kind of go through the motions. It's like social media, you're scrolling, scrolling, scrolling. Oh, is that interesting? You stop for a little bit. Is it enough? For me in life, it's not enough.
That's awesome. Your start of going to the entrepreneurial journey specifically, your onset of your business, you started your business and then you invested in your education and then you invested in your training, which to some people would seem backwards in that aspect. Can you touch on that a little bit, on how you made that decision, that pivotal decision to go into business, and I'm going to do this even if I don't have all of this, and then you went and got all that? I know you know where I'm going with that. So.
Yes, absolutely. So what's interesting about the floral industry is it kind of works backwards like that. So you either jump in and you love it, or you're just, you just learn it and it's kind of like whatever. For me, when I was introduced to it, the first day I was in class, actually probably the first hour, I was hooked. Just that little bit, I was hooked. But what I'm finding and loving about it is meeting all these famous designers and seeing the different ways you can go through and do things as structure. So you learn your basics, but in this industry, you have to continue to grow and learn the new things from all of these seasoned people. Otherwise, you fall flat. I remember being in a class with someone, there was like 75 other designers, and you could see people that were designing in the 70s versus to current. It was huge. So with that and learning from these people, all of a sudden, all these doors started opening. And when I got into the master class, this is how it happened. Just crazy. I was sitting in a class, and Brian Vetter is the one that trained me. He came up to me and asked me how long I'd been designing. And at that point, it'd only been like 6 months, if even that. And he was shocked. And he told me, he pushed me aside to the class and he's like, I've got one extra spot open for my last master classes. I'm retiring and I want you to take it. And so he's got my email and he sent me the details. And I talked to my husband and it's like, what do you think? He's like, go for it. Just go for it. And so to get into that, if you were just to go through and say, I want to be a florist, I want to attend the master class, you can't do it. It's the exact opposite. So you have to really have that invitation. Now the class is open to anybody that is a florist in Arizona. But to have that opportunity as an invitation and a last spot, that was huge, huge for me.
No, that's all good. I'm glad I asked. Actually, I never knew that part of the story, so that's awesome.
That's super exciting. Can you think of anyone who think going back to the definition that you shared of transformation and triumphs and all that kind of stuff, can you think of anyone or anything that you've kind of helped see their transformation, even if they didn't necessarily see it themselves
It's
as a
interesting
triumph?
you say that. I've got a really, I call her a very recent close girlfriend. We used to do Color Street together, and she's reached out to me a time or two, personal things, just very whatever. And I'm very much say what I want. It's like, if I offend you, I'm sorry, but this is what I see. You're asking my opinion, you're going to get it. And we went through this thing with her, and it was so difficult because as she was telling me these things, and I had stopped her, I'm like, listen, you're wasting your hot breath. You need to step away from the situation. You know it's toxic, but you've got to figure out how to go through and do it. And I helped her out with some other things that she was struggling with technically because there were some things that were going on that weren't right. Um, and when I found those things out for her, she was mind blown because she knew what was going on in her head that she needed to go through and do it. She didn't want to do it, and she ended up doing it. But it's one of those things, and it's really, really difficult to be honest with someone. It's like, hey, this isn't working. This is not good for you. This is poison. This is toxic, whatever. But still being able to be positive with them. It's like, listen, I get it, and I still love you for whatever decision you go through and make. That's based on you, and that's a tough one to go through and do.
It is, but it's always wonderful to have somebody who's in your corner, cheering you on, helping you see some things that you might not be able to see yourself, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm sure
And tough love, right?
It
Tough
is.
love. Yeah.
It really is. But and again, that's growth again too. And that builds that relationship with that certain someone, whomever it may be, that they know they can count on you.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Huge. Diana, in closing, share where we can find you or where the audience can find you and where we can all connect with you.
So I'm all over social media. I am on TikTok. Finally figured out TikTok.
Yay for
And
you.
that's fun. I am on Pinterest, not Pinterest, excuse me. Instagram. I had to remember the little icon app. And
I wondered what the
Facebook, of
sign
course.
language was for.
Yeah, it's
Good
like
for you.
so the only one that's different. So TikTok and Instagram is Royal Blooms LLC. Facebook is Maricopa Royal Blooms because I want to put our city name in there so to make it easy to find me. And then also my website is royalbloomsllc.com. So I'm
Awesome.
I'm on social media. I love it.
Yay.
Fantastic. Well, we're so excited to have you be part of this adventure with us. And Transformation Triumphs is the book. You're definitely going to want to read it. Go find out more about Diana Cockle on royalbloomsllc.com. Did I say that right?
Yes, you did. Uh-huh.
Wonderful. And if you want a copy of the book, or when you want a copy of the book, because I know you want to read it, you're going to reach out to Diana or any one of the authors to get your copy. Our launch date is December 12th, 2023. So we look forward to seeing your name associated with it. And thank you so much for being
Thank
part of this.
you. This was wonderful. Thank you so much.